Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Rainbow District School Board regular board meeting for February 21st, 2023. I'd like to remind everybody that we are being live streamed. I'd also like to read the land agreement acknowledgement. The Rainbow District School Board would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Anishinaabe, including Atikameksheng, Atikamekw, and Wampatee nations. We would like to acknowledge that we are situated within the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850 and want to recognize the inherent rights of the Anishinaabe that maintains these lands from time immemorial. Director, could you do a roll call, please?
Trustee Dubosky. Trustee Farrell.
Present.
Trustee Gibson.
Present.
Trustee Cosmley.
Present.
Trustee Morrison. Trustee Dewar.
Present.
Trustee Hunda.
Present.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
Present.
Trustee Clement.
Present.
Student Trustee Quincy.
Present.
Student Trustee Trudeau.
Thank you, Director. First of all, we'd like to have the approval of the agenda. We have a motion that the agenda for the regular board meeting of February 21st, 2023 be approved. I need a mover, please. Trustee Cosmerly. Seconder, please. Trustee Farrell. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor.
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmley. And Student Trustee Quincy.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
B, we have the preliminary declaration of pecuniary interests. I see none. Tonight we have a presentation, Dare to Care. Director, could you take over, please?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair Clement. We are very happy to have a wonderful presentation tonight, and in just a moment I'll turn it over to Superintendent Washnuck to begin, but before that, I'd just like to say thank you not only to Superintendent Washnuck for leading this initiative. As you know, we've piloted 12 schools this year in the board, but also thank our principals who are here tonight, not only for the excellent work in the presentation you're about to see, but more importantly, the leadership they've shown in their schools over time, because when you look at what is in the presentation you'll see tonight, you'll see that it takes a tremendous amount of work at the school level to be able to present the amazing things you'll see. So we're very grateful for everybody here and their hard work to get us to that point, and we hope you enjoy the presentation. And with that, I'll turn it over to Superintendent Washnuck.
Good evening. As part of our strategic directions, Rainbow District School Board has offered 12 elementary schools with an opportunity to pilot Dare to Care, a bullying prevention program. The Dare to Care is a unique program regarded as Canada's most comprehensive and practical bullying prevention program. It enables schools to mobilize and maintain a caring community. Tonight, we have Brenda Carr, principal at Valley View Public School, and Jennifer Harvey, principal at Lansdowne Public School, who have partnered to deliver the Dare to Care program in their schools. They are excited to share with us the tremendous impact this program has had on students in their schools towards its possible implementation in all Rainbow schools. It is my pleasure to welcome Principal Carr and Principal Harvey.
Thank you, Superintendent Washnuck. Good evening, everyone. The main goal of the Dare to Care program is to deliver an innovative approach to bully prevention and inclusion. The most important part of addressing bullying is transforming the silent majority of students into a caring majority. The focus of the program is prevention and intervention through social-emotional learning with a focus on empathy. During the 2022-2023 school year, 12 Rainbow District School Board schools have piloted the Dare to Care program in response to our school climate survey results from 2021. A review as a staff and school community indicated that students requested further support and strategies to manage bullying. The Dare to Care program was developed by Lisa Wells. Lisa has been working in school systems across Western Canada since 1990. After completing her Master's of Education in Educational Psychology, Lisa's focus has been on comprehensive guidance and bully prevention. As the founder of the Dare to Care program, her work has focused on early prevention and intervention. Her partner, Kim Edwards, has been teaching in Alberta since 1990 and holds a degree in special education. The program provides all stakeholders, including administrators, teachers, support staff, that's all adults that work with children, parents, and students from kindergarten to grade 9 with a deeper understanding of bullying and provides the necessary tools to create a caring community.
The school climate survey asked respondents how the school community could best support them in the school and create a welcoming and safe environment. At Lansdowne, student responses included running bullying prevention programs and providing information on bullying. When offered the opportunity to participate in the Dare to Care program, we saw this as a way to support our students and families in creating the very best environment for our students. Valley View's student responses were very similar to Lansdowne's. They included having group and class discussions about bullying and hold information meetings for parents and guardians. The Dare to Care program allows us to address all of the student, parent, guardian responses to ensure that we are doing all we can to support our community against bullying. At Lansdowne and Valley View Public Schools, we decided to deliver the Dare to Care program in the format of weekly assemblies based on the targeted audience for each module. School-wide delivery ensured that the language throughout the school was consistent and that teachers and administration were present to show we care. The Dare to Care program offers a teacher portal to provide teachers with the necessary tools to reinforce the key learning by accessing additional resources such as lessons, discussions, and activities for classroom use. Teachers were able to stretch the learning and review necessary videos and activities at any time. In addition, all adults who work with children are given access to very informative professional development resources. The uniqueness of this program allows for administrators and teachers to deliver the program in a variety of creative ways to suit their classroom community. Activities presented in the K-2 modules differ from those for the grade 7 to 8s. However, the key language and message remains the same. Better yet, this program helps parents become allies in supporting their children through the access of a parent portal. Lisa Wells helps to explain what bullying looks like and how a parent, guardian can help their child. We will touch on sample resources available later in our presentation.
Here is a sample of the kindergarten to grade 2 program. The modules include students learning about the importance of being kind, the difference between bullying and mean moments, tattling versus asking for help, and standing up for yourself and others.
At the beginning of each module, students of all ages are introduced to the concept of the positivity meter, which are presented based on age level. The above visual helps our kindergarten to grade 2 students measure how kind they are being every single day. There are 3 parts to the positivity meter. The top, positive and kind behavior, where one is being kind and doing random acts of kindness and compliments. The middle, neutral zone, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. And then the bottom, the negative and mean behavior, mean-spirited things, not sharing, not being polite, not being rude actually, taking some things that don't belong to you. Right there. At the beginning of each module, students of all ages are introduced to a tool to help gauge their kindness. The grade 7 to 8 module, kindness meter, is represented by batteries, likely because they resemble that of a battery on an electronic device. 3 parts to the kindness meter are shared with the older students, but in adolescent-friendly language. Kim Edwards describes the battery as follows. Negative. The battery with 1 bar, which barely has any power in it, is considered as being in the negative. To the target audience, being grade 7 and 8 students, being negative is about saying unkind things, doing hurtful things, etc. The neutral zone, the same message is delivered. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. They also add that if it's kind to say it, say it. If it's helpful, say it. If it's going to make someone feel great, say it. But if it's not, don't say it. That's neutral in a nutshell. Positive is described as being kind, being helpful, respectful. You're making great choices. You're saying helpful things to people. Being in the positive is where the Dare to Care program would love for students to be. Kim does share with students that while it's wonderful to be at the top in the positive, that they know that it's not possible to be up there all the time. Yet, well, they want them to work hard at being up there as much as possible. The goal is, when one finds themselves in the negative, to figure it out, what they need to do or what they need to say to get to neutral, or better yet, get into the positive.
In all the program modules from kindergarten to grade 8, Dare to Care teaches children that not every unkind word or action is bullying. When children understand the differences between a mean moment, normal conflict, and bullying, false reports of bullying are reduced, so administrators and educators can focus on incidents where students truly need their help. Lansdowne student Ahmet explains what he learned.
I learned about the differences between mean moments and bullying. Bullying is when someone keeps bugging you over and over again and it doesn't stop. A mean moment is when someone acts mean to you only one time, but they apologize.
Mean moments, conflict, and bullying have been well defined and are understood across our kindergarten to grade 8 students. This has become common language around our school. The virtual bully prevention program includes a library of downloadable resources. Posters, like this one for kindergarten to grade 2, can be printed and placed in classrooms and common areas, reminding children to put what they're learning into practice. This visual reminds students to stand tall. Within the modules, they compare behavior when witnessing bullying or being bullied to that of a giraffe or a turtle. Students are educated to stand up and not hide in their shell like a turtle. Here is a sample of the grade 3 to 6 modules, which include education around cyberbullying, discrimination, and racism, and give them a tool belt of life skills. Throughout the Dare to Care program, students learn about bullying dynamics. Reflection and classroom activities focus on where a student is in the bullying diamond, if they are happy where they are at, or if they would like to be in a different place on the diamond. Our goal as a school is to take that 79% of the silent majority and increase the caring minority to make it the majority. In the intermediate grades, students are introduced to the effects of bullying on mental health, sexual harassment and cyberbullying, discrimination and racism, and bullying and the law.
The Dare to Care program engages the whole school community, a requirement for a true cultural shift. The program begins by instilling a common definition of bullying and a common language around bullying behavior. The program also provides students a tool belt of 6 skills to de-escalate and more effectively report incidents of bullying. Students from kindergarten to grade 6 become familiar with the founder of the Dare to Care program, Lisa Wells. Students in grades 7 to 8 will receive their bullying prevention training by Kim Edwards. The language used throughout this entire program is geared to the target audience. Here's a little montage to help you navigate through the program and notice the level of language presented from K to 8 and how it differs in each module.
I call it Dare to Care because I know it takes a lot of courage to be kind, and sometimes it takes a lot of bravery to go up, put your brave cape up and go talk to an adult for help, or maybe put your superhero cape on and go help a teammate or a classmate or a friend. I call it Dare to Care because I realize it takes a lot of courage sometimes to do the right thing. It takes a lot of courage to stand up to someone who is bullying. It takes a lot of courage to go to an adult and ask for help. So Dare to Care is for all of you who have the courage to make a difference in this world.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Dare to Care Take the Time modules. My name is Kim, and I'm going to guide you through them. The reason we call this the Take the Time sessions or modules is because it's a chance for you to take the time to think about the way you're treating one another. Perhaps the way you're treating people in your class or in your community or even at home. It's a chance for you to take the time to think about the words you're choosing to use, again, with people at school or perhaps in your community or perhaps at home. It's a chance for you to take the time to think about, are choices you're making keeping you on the path you want to be on to get to the place you want to be, or are choices you're making taking you off that path and taking you away from your goals? It's a chance for you to take the time to think about how you want to move through your days at school and through your life.
Key language is used throughout all modules, including parent modules. For example, all students have been given 3 magic words. They have role-played telling a bully in a calm voice to stop and then to walk away and calmly say to an adult, "Please help me." The program emphasizes that those 3 simple words coming from a child to an adult automatically tune an adult into listening carefully. Other key language including discrimination, racism, cyberbullying, mean moments are all words that are now understood within our school. With modules for students, webinars for parents, and professional development modules for teachers and staff, this anti-bullying program is designed to engage every person within our school community. Parents have access to a parent portal where they will also meet Lisa Wells as the face for the Dare to Care program. In the modules for parents, Lisa will discuss statistics about percentages of students who feel targeted and carefully defines the word bullying and stresses the importance that everyone understand that definition. As part of the Dare to Care program, parents have access to a parent portal. In this portal, parents have access to modules and essential resources to help reinforce the same ideas and language as presented in the Dare to Care program at school. Additionally, the modules shared with parents help them develop a better understanding of the types of bullying, what it looks like, and how to help their child. At the end of the parent portal modules, parents have access to a variety of resources: Dare to Care resource list, practice bullying scenarios, haha so role play cards and instructions, Dare to Care FAQs, and Dare to Care Code of Conduct.
Students across the school have been asked what they have been learning during the implementation of the Dare to Care program at Lansdowne. Enjoy a video put together by classroom teacher Melissa Birmingham, who worked with all students to get a sense of the learning that has taken place thus far. Every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m., students from kindergarten to grade 2 gather in the gym to learn about the importance of being a buddy rather than a bully. To make our participation even more impactful, all classes from kindergarten to grade 8 have created a personalized class kindness bingo card, where as a class, they have determined the random acts of kindness they would like to complete throughout the year.
As previously mentioned in our presentation, students were coached to be a giraffe and not a turtle. This picture is proof of teacher engagement with the Dare to Care program. Madame Powell, a wonderful grade 1 teacher at Valley View Public School, introduced Gigi la giraffe to her classroom and used it as a classroom positivity meter to track kindness. Students enjoyed sharing the wonderful acts of kindness displayed to see the hearts climb up to the top. The story behind this next clip is when Madame Koskela was sharing with her kindergarten students about their inquiry topic, bears. She then displayed a picture of a trunk that was scratched by the sharp claws of a bear. As she asked students about what they saw, one student surprised her with this observation. Have a look at how impactful the Dare to Care program is with our youngest learners.
What did that horse do to this Adler?
He was having a mean moment.
Well, why do you think he was having a mean moment? What did he do?
He scratched the tree.
Oh,
A lot.
yeah. And you think that's he was having a mean moment?
Yeah, to the tree.
Do you think he was using the tree like a tool to calm his body down? No? You just think he was upset?
Mean moment.
Mean moment. Thanks. Must do.
We are so pleased with the feedback that we received from parents. Specifically, here's a photo of a super cute kindergarten eagle who had recently gone shopping with her mom. As they walked the aisles in the store, the parent recalled conversations that she had with her daughter about the importance of displaying buddy behavior and not bully behavior. The following day, her daughter shows up to the school with a sign for the classroom door saying, "Be a buddy, not a bully."
Students from Madame Poirier's grade 4 class created tempered heart glass art following an activity where they discuss heart prints on their hearts. Students identify the many wonderful things that they love and that makes them the wonderful person that they are. Here's another example of how the Dare to Care program allows students to reflect on kindness and love. And here is Haley, who defines kindness and compares it to a thermometer.
I think kindness is like a thermometer. The nicer you are, the warmer it is, the higher it goes. But if you're mean, then it'll be like it's getting colder and go down. If it's all the way down here, no one will want to talk to you or be your friend. But if it's up here, everyone will want to be your friend and talk to you. But you just gotta be nice. And if someone's being mean, don't be mean back. Just try and ignore them and the problem will go away.
Here we have the staff at Lansdowne who each purchased their own sweatshirts to spread the message of the importance of kindness every day. So the messages read, choose kindness, kind people are my kind of people, and be the reason that someone smiles today. Students are caught being kind. A ballot is given to each student to show what type of buddy behavior they were using. The ballot is then placed in our office ballot box, and names are announced weekly on We Care Wednesdays. Names are also drawn at our weekly assemblies to kick off each assembly. Students are celebrated at Lansdowne.
Students are writing lovely feel-good messages on colorful hearts. One day, our mini prof and helpers will distribute the messages. The goal of these messages is to put a smile on a classmate's face or make a dark day brighter. We look forward to seeing messages posted in lockers or in notebooks. Positive messages warm our hearts. Classroom displays throughout Lansdowne focus on kindness and respect. In this picture, you see our Be a Buddy, Not a Bully signs that are placed throughout the school. Riley is holding a kindness cloud, which shows all the wonderful attributes her friends find in her. To the left, our students have responded to the read aloud entitled One, written by Catherine Atoshi, which focuses on friendship and kindness. In conclusion, we would like to leave you with a wonderful presentation by grade 3 students at Valley View Public School. We hope that their message of trying a little kindness spreads across the Rainbow District School Board. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And if you see
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Principal Carr, Principal Harvey. A great presentation and all the work you put in. You've made bullying a little easier going down the road and maybe another step forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any questions for these two principals or comment? Yes, sir.
So I have a question and a comment. First of all, really makes me miss the kids. They're so cool, and of course the singing always. I saw Trustee Hunda on the screen holding back tears also, but it's really cool. So this is great. This is fantastic. Two of the big challenges for principals are the whole notion around defining the term bullying. Many times we would get calls on the telephone saying that my child is being bullied where the parent did not have a clue what actually was happening. So we really have addressed a problem here about defining that. And second of all, I think it's really important that we address the issue surrounding the silent majority. Those kids that see acts of bullying happening and are reluctant to intervene. So this addressed a couple of really key points for me. My question is, great program, but you as principals, when you walk around your schools, what are you seeing? What are the things that you see on a daily basis that tell you that this is making a difference? And I have one comment after that.
So there's definitely been a tremendous impact in the school where there's, it seems like the atmosphere is different. There's a lot more joy, and students are making a valid effort in being kind because they're focusing on their classroom kindness meter. And the other thing too is I find that they're realizing they're slowly receiving those tools in order to intervene and help their friends when they're having a mean moment to try to get them back into positive. So I do believe as we continue to roll out this program, we're going to see a tremendous impact as we move forward.
Jen, would you like to offer anything?
I'm going to piggyback on what you said about the difficulty sometimes as an administrator when parents are calling and saying that there's bullying, and explaining to parents the difference between a mean moment, bullying, and normal conflict that happens between two individuals. So talking with parents, that's been a little bit easier. And I think when children come to the office and they're explaining a situation that's happened, just being able to say to them, do you think that this is bullying? Do you think this is a mean moment? Do you think this is normal conflict? What do you think? So now that every student in the school has this language and understanding surrounding those terms, they can actually sort of self-reflect on what's happening and say, you know what, you're right, that's a mean moment, but I'll always be able to say, if it continues, what are you going to do, right? So then they know the difference between just that one mean moment or if it progresses into bullying. So that's made it a lot easier as well.
Excellent. Essentially what this is doing is building a community around an issue, and that's where, it's a sweet spot for where learning actually takes place, so well done. I just wanted to say, on behalf of all of us, I think, is how proud we are of each of you, like the work that you're doing, and you need to know as former colleagues, the work that you're doing is appreciated by everybody who sits at this table, and I want you to know that I'm very proud of you, and I wanted to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have Judy Hunda and then Lisa Corbier-Addison.
I'm going to try to keep my voice nice and calm. And yes, I thank you for pointing out, Trustee Farrell, that I had a few tears. But such things when we see children and when I see people I care so much about and how hard you're working for our students, it touches my heart. And we all know I'm a heart person. I can't even begin to thank you for this beautiful, beautiful presentation. I mean, the messages are wonderful, exactly what is needed. And I would like to see this program, it would be so wonderful if this program was covered in the media. I really see that there's so many lessons for adults as well. So many of us tend to be in the silent majority, and we know that the success for this, we need parental and community involvement. I am in awe at the success that you both have experienced. I am touched to my soul with it. And I would love to see this as a presentation to, say, our parent involvement committee, our school, any school council meetings, because I think that the message here to me as an adult, as a trustee, certainly hit home, and it would be beneficial, I think, for all of us as adults to walk away from this and do a little bit of thinking. You two know how much I think of both of you, and I thank you, and I'm not surprised that you were here presenting today, and I can't thank you enough. You have certainly made my day. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was very informative, and I really enjoyed the aspect of the DARE program, or Dare to Care program, that was in a large forum. You presented in a gym or in a large area with all the students in the school. That must have been difficult at points.
So I'll jump in on that, because we started it off with, because the modules are very different in kindergarten to grade 2 as they are in grade 8. So we did it divisionally though. We brought in our kindergarten to grade 3s, then we did our 4, 5s, and 6s in the gym, and then our intermediate students. But the key to the program, I believe, is that the whole school, you're right, hears the same messaging.
Yep.
So that's why we did it that way, instead of just having it completed in the classrooms.
And then the follow-up back in the classroom with the other students. I'm just, I really appreciate the effort. You said there were 12 schools in the board that this program ran in. Which schools are those?
I can help answer that question. The schools that are involved this year are Algonquin, Alexander, Churchill, C.R. Judd, Lansdowne, Little Current, Markstay, Manettville, Northeastern, Princess Anne, Queen Elizabeth, and Valley View.
Thank you. And I just had a question about FNMI content within the context of the program. Is there any specific content that relates to First Nations?
I think at this point, we would go back to just being kind to each other. So I think it does apply throughout for everyone. The concept is being kind, understanding what a mean moment is and what bullying is, and I think that's applicable throughout.
Okay. Is there a cost to the board for implementing the program?
We will let the board answer that question.
Through you, Chair Clement, there is a cost to the board. We are looking at the pilot cost and then looking at expansion. But thanks to Principal Harvey and Principal Carr, we're seeing that this program does have immense value. So as part of our planning for next year, and based on the feedback we're getting from our leaders in schools and the excellent presentation we see, it's part of our budget considerations for the following year. So we don't have costs for a board-wide implementation at this point, but all signs indicate that we should be taking that into very serious consideration. So we'll be happy to update you in the future, but certainly we see the value of being kind. We've been talking about it throughout the pandemic and throughout various challenges we've faced over the years, and it's important. So I think this leadership effort by our principals and our staff is greatly appreciated, certainly in not only Lansdowne and Valley View, but all of our schools. And certainly if this is as effective as we're hearing, it's going to be given serious consideration for expansion into next year, and we'll be happy to provide financial updates as this evolves.
Thank you. One more question. Sorry, I have lots of questions. Project DARE is a similar worded project, but it deals with substance abuse within schools, and it's another curriculum with the word DARE in it. Was there any, did you have that running in those schools?
That's a great question. In our schools, no. In the elementary panel, no. The Dare to Care program was created by someone in, I believe it was Alberta. So I don't know if they're aware of the of that
Project
other
DARE.
project.
Yeah, there's Dare to Care and Project DARE, and I thought I was a little bit confused.
Yeah,
But they are different in their curriculum approach. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Trustee Cosmerly.
First of all, I too want to say how wonderful this was, and it's good to hear a good news story about a very difficult topic to approach. So it was interesting to hear about the cost piece moving forward. Will the program be moving forward with the students in the 12 schools at least? Because I would think when you start the ball rolling, it's great to keep reinforcing year to year. So I'm just wondering what's happening there. Thank you. And thanks so much for the great presentation.
Director Bourget.
Through you, Chair Clement, what we're planning on doing is begging principals Carr and Harvey to present this excellent presentation to all of our principals, and then getting the feedback from our principals and looking at moving forward system-wide. So that's in upcoming leadership team meetings we're going to be having with all of our administrators. But certainly there's no doubt that the programs will continue in the 12 pilot schools. The consideration will just be how far and how much we expand for the future.
Any more questions? Oh, yes. Trustee Kunze.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, because the issues that kind of led to this program were done by a survey, is there going to be a follow-up survey to kind of check results for how the program has done in the same kind of fashion, or?
Another great question. So we do plan on delivering another school climate survey in the near future, and once that data is compiled, we'll be able to see how we're doing with the program.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? I see nobody else. So Principal Carr, Principal Harvey, thank you so much for your presentation. It was great. Looking forward to see it in the future.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, we go to D, report from in-camera committees of the whole board on camera. Director, none? We have none. Old business. Number one, previous minutes. At the minutes of the regular board meeting held on Tuesday, January 17th, 2023 be approved. A mover, please. Judy Cosmerly. Seconder, please. Judy Honda. Poll vote, please, Director.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Dewar.
In favor.
Trustee Farrow.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Honda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. I'm going to number two, tenders requests for proposal. We have a motion here, Superintendent Gilbo. We'll move this first before we go to, yeah.
Thank you, Chair Clement. We do have two contract awards for consideration tonight. I'll read the first motion. That the board award the contract for Alexander Public School for HVAC upgrades, tender number 2023-02, to Mackey Construction Limited for $154,900.
Need a mover, please. See, Trustee Honda. A seconder, please. Trustee Dewar. Poll vote, please. Oh, yes. Always forget that part. Any questions? Trustee Cosmerly.
I wonder if we could get an explanation of what this is for, because there's quite a range in the prices. Hopefully everybody bid on the same thing.
So this is for upgrades to the HVAC system on the upper level of Alexander Public School, so that there's going to be cooling available. There was quite a wide range in the bids. We did confirm with the lowest bidder that their price was correct. We have used them on similar smaller projects. The references were checked out and they were actually pre-qualified.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? If not, poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement?
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor?
Trustee Farrell?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor?
Trustee Hunda?
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor?
And Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Now we have a second motion. Superintendent Guilbeault.
Thank you, Chair Clement. The second motion reads that the board award the contract for Lively District Secondary School for partial re-roofing, tender number 2023-04, to Semple Gooder Northern Limited for $456,151.
Thank you very much. We need a mover, please. Trustee Farrell. Seconder, please. Judy Cosmerly. Any questions? Trustee Cosmerly.
Again, could we just get an explanation of what this is?
Absolutely. There's two sections of the roof that we're redoing. It represents about 20% of the entire roof. There are a couple other sections that we will consider in the future, but these are just the two that are being done right now. And there were 4 different bids. They were all very close, but also pleased to announce that the winning bid is also under our budget. So.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? No. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement?
Favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison?
In favor?
Trustee Dewar?
In favor?
Trustee Farrell?
In favor.
Trustee Gibson?
In favor?
Trustee Hunda?
In favor?
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor?
And Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. We go to number 3, reports and recommendations from board committees. From the Strategic Planning Committee, Board Governance Bylaw, we have a notice of motion that the recommended changes as outlined in Governance Bylaw 14, electronic meetings as amended be approved. We just require a mover, please. Do we have a mover? Sorry. Okay, yes, Trustee Addison, thank you. And that's all we need. I'll write this down before I forget. Okay. Director, number 4, 2022-2023 school year update.
Thank you, Chair Clement, and good evening, trustees. I welcome this opportunity to provide an update as we are midway through the 2022-23 school year. And as you know, there are great things happening in Rainbow Schools thanks to our administrators, staff, and students, and all the work that they're collectively doing. Our secondary schools successfully transitioned into second semester early this month, and our elementary schools and our students are enjoying the return to extracurricular activities and various things happening as you saw today. Whether during school or after school, our staff are going the extra mile to engage our students into the full school experience, which creates a strong sense of belonging. As always, our educators and support staff are serving as role models for student success. Last year, we began the first year of implementation of our 5-year plan, it's a continuation of our work together. And I thank our trustees for your leadership in bringing strategic directions to life. Our strategic directions provide that compass for our shared purpose with a clear vision, mission, values, and priorities, and this is a living, breathing document that gives focus to our work. As I've stated previously, each day we have an opportunity to change lives with the work that we do. It's an absolute privilege, and it's a very big responsibility. It's founded in positive relationships, genuine care, trust, and respect. The goal is to improve learning outcomes, build confidence, and foster student success. As we arrive at the midpoint of the school year, I'd like to highlight some initiatives within our 6 priority areas. So let's begin with student success and achievement. There is a renewed focus on trades as the province looks to address the need for skilled workers in all areas with the expansion of technological education and apprenticeships. The trades offer rewarding career opportunities for students who enjoy hands-on learning, and we're encouraging students to think trades. LaSalle Secondary School and Lively Secondary School are among 40 high schools in Ontario to receive new high-tech machine equipment from the Canadian Tooling and Machining Association and Ontario Council for Technology Education. Close to $162,000 of equipment has been delivered to the schools, a very impressive contribution, and I had the chance to visit this myself on my recent visit to Lively. Each school also has received toolkits and cutting tools. So we're very grateful to Canadian Tooling and Machining Association and the Ontario Council for Technology Education for giving our students and teachers access to modern equipment to learn skills and gain competencies that are in very high demand. New desktop CNC machines, plasma tables, and a milling machine have also been added to the trades classrooms at LaSalle Secondary School. This equipment will enable greater collaboration between the multiple trades programs and will allow students to continue their post-secondary education or enter the workforce with knowledge and understanding of the technology being used in today's working environment. The new tools will allow the drafting students to work alongside the machining and millwright students to produce parts for the manufacturing, automotive, robotics, and carpentry students. Lively District Secondary School has received desktop CNC machines and a milling machine that will enable the school to provide relevant precision metalworking experiences to students. The upgraded equipment will enable students to have workplace-ready skills that teachers can leverage to obtain meaningful and authentic cooperative education placements in the manufacturing sector. The new equipment is part of the Career Ready with CTMA Expanding Opportunities program funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario. Another component of the program will provide experiential work placements for high school co-op students with a focus in the precision metal cutting sector. Participants will work alongside experienced tradespeople, skilled workers, and other professionals who will provide them with an opportunity to gain real-world skills and knowledge. I'd like to thank Jody Jacobo, our specialist high skills major and co-op coordinator, for working with our schools and the funding partner to secure this new equipment for LaSalle and Lively. It's also time for you to meet Lance. LaSalle Secondary School students are building a life-sized humanoid robot. Aptly named Lance, the robot is the first of its kind for a school in Northern Ontario. This is inspired by a project developed by French sculptor and designer Gail Langevin. Lance is being created using more than 400 3D printed parts and 20 servo mechanisms, which will allow the robot to mimic human movement. This exciting project began during the pandemic when robotics teacher Roger Banconier was looking for ways to engage students through learning online. In a traditional robotics class, students work on designs and prototypes. They test their ideas using a variety of components, from CAD design to mechanical assembly to 3D printing, algorithm controls, coding, and more. When we no longer had access to in-class technology and tools, I became focused on finding another way to teach robotics that would engage students, says Roger Banconier. In his quest, he discovered this project, InMove. It's called the first open source 3D printed life-size robot and a dynamic community of builders. And with that, he went to work. He said, the learning curve for myself and for my students was quite steep, but they really enjoyed the opportunity to be part of something special. When classes transitioned back to in-person learning, the project continued. After hundreds of hours of 3D printing and building, And with the help of rudimentary artificial intelligence, Lance can now follow verbal commands, interact with people, and even answer questions. Let's take a look at this video.
System check.
System check. Head, neck and mouth, check. Right arm and right shoulder, check. Left arm and left shoulder, check. Hands and wrists, check. All servos are functioning properly. Awaiting your commands.
Movement number 1.
Cycle gesture 1. Welcome to the in-move nation. I currently have 25 hobby servos installed in my body to give me life. There's 1 servo for moving my mouth up and down, 2 for my eyes, and 2 more for my head, so I can look around and see who's there. There's 3 servos in each shoulder. Here is the first servo movement. This is the second one. Now you see the third. They give me a more human-like movement. But I have only 1 servo to move each elbow. That leaves me with 1 servo per wrist and 1 servo for each finger. These servos are located in my forearms. They are hooked up by the use of tendons.
Reach the ball.
Reach the ball.
Keep the ball.
Keep the ball.
Put it down.
Putting it down.
What is your favorite movie?
Right now, my favorite movie is Arden. Have you seen it?
Yes. What about Star Wars?
I enjoyed that movie.
Me too. Arms front.
Holding my arms in front of me.
Arms up.
I've got my arms up.
Relax.
Relax.
So you can imagine how excited students and staff are to work on this amazing project. And although they're excited with the success to date, Teacher Branconia says there's much more work to be done. LaSalle's engineering and robotics students are now building Lance's left arm. And there's also room for more growth with the project. Students can add cameras to Lance's eyes for facial and object recognition, and they can also design wireless gloves or harnesses to move Lance remotely. At LaSalle Secondary School, Lance has become a mascot of sorts, heralding a resurgence in all things technology. In teacher Kyle Kraftcheck's grade 9 coding and animation class, for instance, students are using the computer software tool Blender to create 3D models and explore the principles of 3D modeling: form, detail, scale, adaptation, reuse, and surface quality. Some students combine basic shapes to create a model like a turtle, while others use sculpting to create models with smoother surfaces, like the animated character Nebo. Students are also encouraged to incorporate aspects of color, texture, and lighting into their projects. Robotics is also fast becoming the 4th R at RLBD Public School, right up there with reading, writing, and arithmetic. When grade 5 and 6 students were invited to try out for the competitive robotics team last fall, interest was so high that 2 teams were formed. It was a sign that the new robotics club for students in grades 4 to 6 would be as popular as many other after-school opportunities, from basketball to chess. Principal Kelly McCauley says this is the first time that RLBD has offered an intramural robotics club, and the club averages 70 students a week. Lego Mindstorms kits are used to bring the robotics to life and have a creative atmosphere that is focused on fun. Principal McCauley also says that some students in the robotics club may want to participate in the competitive level against teams from other schools, and this will give them the experience and confidence to move forward. The new robotics club is hosted by Llewellyn Park Secondary School teachers Dave Winsa, Jennifer Peloso, and Chris Peloso. It's a wonderful example of partnerships between secondary schools and their feeder schools. And I'd like to thank the teachers for taking the time to bring this opportunity forward for our elementary students. The competitive teams from RLBD Public School participated in the West Provincial First Lego League Championships on January 14th at Durham College in Oshawa. They joined some 40 teams from across the province, and they garnered some very impressive results. In FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. So in this LEGO competition, participants gain real-world problem-solving experiences. They hone their critical thinking, coding, and design skills through hands-on learning and robotics. The BD Bots captured the First Place Innovation Project Award and the Alliance Challenge Award. And the other team, the Bionic Barons, although they ran into some technical difficulties, they never gave up on their mission of having fun. And we'd like to congratulate the students and staff involved on both teams. Sudbury Secondary is going from some robotics to some of our arts. Sudbury Secondary School was thrilled to present the Pirates of Penzance from February 10th to 12th. The artistic students enjoyed performing in front of a live audience. Theater arts teacher Vanessa Charette says, from music to acting to set design, our students amaze me each and every day with their passion and dedication. And as you can see in this image, it was an impressive production. It's good to see live theater alive and well in Rainbow schools. And in keeping with the arts, Manitoulin Secondary School is excited to present Something Rotten on Friday, March 3rd, and Saturday, March 4th, and also Sunday, March 5th. This is based on the Renaissance period, and it's a musical comedy that tells the story of 2 brothers looking to find success in the acting world, competing with the popularity of their arch nemesis Shakespeare. Students work diligently to prepare the satire that touches on everything audiences adore about Broadway. Tickets are $20 each and can be purchased at Guardian Pharmacies in Little Current, Mindamoya, and Manitowoc, as well as the IDA Pharmacy and Betty's Convenience Store in Gorth Bay, and everyone is welcome. Keeping with music, the 2022-23 school year marks the 15th anniversary of the Joan Mantle Music Trust. The Trust supports music education in Rainbow District School Board by allocating funds to purchase new instruments and musical equipment for schools. To celebrate the occasion, a community concert will be held on Saturday, April 29th at 7 p.m. at Sudbury Secondary's auditorium. Please mark this date on your calendar and plan to join for an official evening of local talent featuring school groups and community performers. To the world of sports, OFSA, the Ontario Federation of Schools Athletic Association, has awarded Llewellyn Park Secondary School girls basketball team the sportsmanship banner for the 2nd year in a row. This is an unheard of accomplishment for a school team. During the AA OFSA Girls Basketball Championships last fall, the team was praised for their camaraderie, school spirit, fair play, and inclusivity. OFSA representatives informed the school The SITSA reps and provincial conveners how thrilled they were with the athletes' conduct throughout the tournament, indicating Llewellyn Park and SITSA's reflection on office's core values. We'd like to congratulate the entire team, as well as their coaches, Lisa Carruthers and Antoinette Purdon. Now this student produced a cookbook that serves up resilience with a rack of lamb. It's a pleasure for me to introduce to you Ty Chauvin, a grade 12 student from LaSalle Secondary School. Ty has been cooking since kindergarten and now has his own published cookbook thanks to Make-A-Wish Canada. My Wish on a Plate, Just Ty It combines Ty's favorite recipes with others from family and friends. This cookbook, however, is about so much more than Chef Ty's personal passion. It's a brilliant reflection of a resilient young man determined to achieve his goals. Ty was diagnosed with multiple heart issues at birth, including heart disease, but throughout his 17 years, he's endured multiple surgeries and even discovered he has a rare genetic syndrome. But despite these challenges, Ty perseveres. Congratulations, Ty. And to learn more about his inspirational cookbook, you can find it on our board website, and you'll find some links. I can tell you that I purchased the book myself as Christmas gifts, and Ty has skills that I'm still trying to discover. And today's a very special day. Not only is it student trustee Quincy's birthday, our very own student trustee, Jocelyn Quincy from Manitoulin Secondary School, has been selected as a 2023 Loran Awards finalist, ranking in the top 2% of all applicants from across the entire country. Out of 4,800 students who applied, 90 have been selected for an interview. The foundation provides 36 awards nationally, valued over $100,000 to students entering university. Loran scholars receive the country's largest undergraduate merit award based on character, commitment to service, and leadership potential. Sincere congratulations, student trustee Quincy. We are proud of you and wish you the very best as you continue in the selection process. Although the process is not done, we should note that just being a finalist is a tremendous accomplishment in itself, and we wish you all the best going forward. In Truth and Reconciliation, we continue to build our partnerships with our First Nations chiefs and communities. The First Nations Advisory Committee, our Indigenous Education team, and I have been meeting regularly to review and renew our education service agreements with our First Nation partners for our Indigenous students. The work is progressing well, and we do expect to have new agreements in place by the end of the current school year. Artwork by a talented student from Sudbury Secondary School is featured on a series of Indigenous awards honoring student success in Rainbow District School Board. Michael Lampman's drawings were inspired by the animals that represent the 7 grandfather teachings: the bear for bravery, the wolf for humility, the sabre for honesty, eagle for love, buffalo for respect, turtle for truth, and beaver for wisdom. And you can see some of his amazing artwork on your screen. The concept for the artwork was born in a grade 10 civics and careers class when students were invited to create a piece of art that incorporated things that relate to their personal being. Mike put pencil to paper. He later hand painted the artwork onto canvas. The opportunity to design awards to honor Indigenous graduates in Rainbow schools found Mikey while he was taking a grade 11 media class. He knew immediately that his paintings of the 7 grandfather teachings were the perfect place to start. He assumed the project knowing that he needed to learn all he could about digital design. To create the awards, he took photographs of his original paintings and uploaded them into the computer. And with Adobe software, he traced each and every line to resemble the artwork as much as possible. After many, many hours, Mikey perfected his work. He then took a step further, designing the text and the format. By the end of the semester, he had mastered the tools, and with new techniques, he created 7 beautiful pieces of digital art, along with the templates to personalize the awards for the very deserving Indigenous students who will receive them for years and years to come. Captivated by the elegance of each drawing and the message behind each teaching, Sudbury Secondary School's principal recently had the works enlarged for posters and the teachings in Ojibwe and in English. Signed and framed, the art has now found pride of place in the school's Ojibwe room, Indigenous support room, and classroom at the Swakemuk Native Alternative School, making them accessible to a broader audience. Together, the grandfather teachings serve as guiding principles to foster growth and build understanding as the board continues its journey forward towards truth and reconciliation. Also, during last semester, students at the Ravens program at Espanola High School participated in a variety of cultural learning activities with community members from Sagamok, Anishinaabeg First Nation, Espanola, and the Espanola branch of the Health Center. Students explored the outdoors with hiking and land-based reflection activities, preparing fish with partners from Nujamantag, cultural teachings, and on stories on medicines from Wayne Southwind of Sagamok Anishinaabeg, and teaching on resilience and reconciliation from Elder Isabel Miyawasaki from Serpent River First Nation. Students were thrilled to make their own moccasins with Irene Dixon from Sagamok using materials gathered locally and regionally, and they also learned where the materials were from and how they were gathered. Students said making moccasins taught them an importance of being patient. Students from Manitoulin Secondary School also created beaded turtle pins. The turtle is a First Nation symbol associated with the earth. On many Cree and Anishinaabe creation stories, North America, or Turtle Island, was created on the back of a giant turtle. The turtle teaches patience, stability, grounding and earth connection, and represents good fortune, longevity, fertility, and vitality. Students from Sudbury Secondary learned about smudging, including the protocols and significance of the ceremony. The smudging took place beside snow sculptures that students made to honor the murdered and missing Indigenous women, a day that was recognized recently. Also, Indigenous artist Michael Sung was commissioned to produce a 40-foot-long, 10-panel mural at ABLS Public School alongside 47 student artists, as well as Singwick's apprentice, Jerry Ranger. Each panel represents one of the 7 grandfather teachings, with an additional 3 panels added for community, resilience, and equity, the values we adopted in our strategic directions. It took 2.5 weeks to complete all 10 panels, in total 50 hours of work. Students received a certificate of appreciation for their contributions to the project. Michael said, "I'm so proud of the students and my apprentice. I look for participation, not perfection, and teach that we are all equal in the circle with everybody making history right here at ABLS in Espanola," which is certainly well said. The panels will be framed and hung in the school foyer, creating a beautiful and meaningful masterpiece. Literacy and numeracy, as you know, are the foundation for all learning, and students from Adamsdale Public Schools celebrated their love of learning with various activities in art and math to mark their 100th day of instruction. The 100th school day took place on Monday, February 13th this year. The Minister of Education recently announced enhanced funding for digital mathematics tools, and Rainbow District School Board received approximately $98,000. After much consideration, the decision has been to invest in additional MathUp licenses for the system, 25 licenses for grade 9 D-Stream math teachers to support programming for this course in its second year of implementation, 71 licenses for elementary regular program teachers, and 15 licenses for elementary French immersion teachers. MathUp is a curriculum-aligned resource created by Dr. Marion Small, and it includes student activities and instructional resources. It also connects lessons to professional development and capacity-building materials. It's an excellent resource for math assessment and instruction, and it's available in English for grades 1 to 8 and French for grades 1 to 6. Resources are customizable and can be modified for the needs of specific learners, and the licenses do not have to be renewed. They're managed centrally and can be reallocated in the system if teachers retire. Knowledge Hook is already purchased and provided for all classes, grade 3 to 10. It's an interactive program to enhance math skills as well. It's divided into challenges, individual tasks for students, and games. Whole class quizzes, making math fun. The responses are converted into data that teachers can use to quickly determine who understands a concept and who needs more help. It provides opportunities for spaced and supplemental practice to enhance what's being taught in the classroom. And as you know, we've talked about our Lighthouse classrooms. In the primary division, we have 4 Lighthouse classes as models for best practice for teachers in kindergarten to grade 3. The classes are located at Adamsdale, C.R. Judd, Queen Elizabeth, and Redwood. And we will be looking at what we'll do with these in terms of expansion for next year. These classes are staffed by regular classroom teachers supported by literacy coaches and the elementary literacy consultant. And we have a number of goals with this initiative. The classes will build system capacity with high-yield Tier 1 strategies, explicit phonics instruction, intentional balanced literacy, and cross-curricular integration between literacy instruction and content areas like science, technology, and social studies. To date, a total of 73 teachers have visited the classrooms. 42 were new teachers, and 31 were experienced educators. Additional visits continue to be scheduled, as well as follow-up work with the literacy coaches. Teachers are asked to complete a feedback survey after visiting, and some of the highlights of the survey include 100% of respondents rated that the professional learning provided as either being a 4 or a 5 on a scale of 1 to 5. Basically saying an extensive amount of new learning occurred. 92.3% of respondents indicated that this experience will have a significant impact on their professional practice. And 100% of respondents indicated they would recommend visiting the Lighthouse classroom to their colleagues. Here's some feedback so far. I'll let you read it. Certainly a very positive response. And some more feedback. I'll read this one for you. I found the entire visit to be extremely helpful in my teaching practice, from observing the lessons taught in the classroom to being able to learn from a literacy coach. I am also very grateful to have received a manual and instruction on how to implement the program in my own classroom. The scope and sequence is very easy to follow, and online resources are also very accessible. I'm very thankful to have been given this opportunity, especially as a first-year teacher. I highly recommend the Lighthouse Classroom to all teachers. In addition to our strategy for primary grades, we also continue to use the following literacy interventions in our schools: Haggerty Phonemic Awareness, Leveled Literacy Intervention, or you'll hear it be called LLI, Lexia Core 5 and Lexia Power Up, Empowered Reading, which in grades 2 to 5 focus on decoding and spelling, and also in same for grades 6 to 8, and Empower at the high school level. All schools will be participating in the EQAO assessment for reading, writing, and math this spring, and principals are working very diligently with their staff to establish goals as we see continuous improvement. Our mental health team, moving on to our other priorities, has developed resources for schools to promote well-being and to address student needs when their well-being is at risk. This year, we're moving from theory to practice in our work on trauma-informed classrooms. When we gain a better understanding of how environments and circumstances affect children and young people, we're better able to respond. Our mental health team is increasing capacity within our staff to address the mental health needs of students by offering mental health first aid. The professional learning is being delivered by mental health team members who are also certified trainers. And the 2-day course includes a mix of lectures, videos, case studies, and activities. In that, participants learn how to help students who are showing signs of mental health problems or who are experiencing a mental health crisis, such as a panic attack. Upon completion of the course, participants receive a certificate from Mental Health Commission of Canada, and we expect more than 90 staff members to have be completed the training by the end of this school year. Feedback to date has been very positive. Some said the training gave them concrete ways to deal with situations in support of students. As we know, developing positive mental health starts at an early age. The art board prepared by kindergarten students at Algonquin Road Public School sends a strong message. Produced in the context of Valentine's Day, it serves as a daily reminder of what the world needs right now. And as you heard this evening, we're piloting the anti-bullying program Dare to Care in 12 schools. It's proven to be an efficient and effective way to build empathy and reduce bullying. And once again, I'd like to thank Principals Jennifer Harvey and Brenda Carr for their excellent presentation and for sharing the impact that this program is having on their respective schools. One component of wellness is being active, and close to 240 students in grades 3 to 8 from 12 Rainbow schools participated in a Walden cross-country ski loppet held last month. We extend special thanks to two event organizers in particular, Jessica Lonsdale and Stefan Skoberg, for their diligent work to make this event possible for students. We'd also like to thank more than 30 volunteers of parents, grandparents, friends, and trail staff for ensuring a fun time was had by all. Certainly we appreciate all of our teachers' involvement, and we know that by lending a helping hand, our volunteers support student success inside and outside the classroom. Students from Redwood Acres recently enjoyed some snowshoeing, and that physical activity, being outside, prepares the body and the mind for learning. Being active supports overall mental health and well-being. Also, in an effort to build positive relationships, promote kindness, foster empathy, and develop resilience in students, staff at Algonquin Road Public School have decorated the washrooms with messages of hope. Feeling safe and supported at schools plays a crucial role in youth development and academic success. On to environmental education and sustainability. Our monthly environmental challenges, which include an Indigenous component, have proven to be an effective way to broaden the scope of education and environmental action. Staff and students went paperless on Wednesday, January 18th. And I could say, as some days I wish we could go paperless each week. In 2023, we are encouraging sustainable practices. For the challenge, schools created 21st century paperless classrooms by avoiding the use of printers, photocopiers, hard copy assignments, and paper-based assignments. And classes were also encouraged to learn outside in nature. Rainbow schools are being challenged to use electricity throughout February. Schools were given 3 years of data on electricity consumption, which is used to calculate and measure their average use. We want students to be aware of the electricity they consume and find ways to reduce consumption inside and outside the classroom. Schools can also reduce their energy by turning the lights down, wearing sweaters, turning down the heat, and unplugging electronics when not in use, and using a timer to charge devices such as Chromebooks, iPads, or laptops. From an Indigenous perspective, nature has sustained our existence as noted in Robin Wall Kimmerer's book, Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and Teaching of Plants. It's time to push beyond gratitude and encourage to receive a gift, to be grateful, and to give back, to help us appreciate the interconnectedness of life. To inspire positive thoughts and actions, and to help guide student learning, classes are encouraged to hear from an Indigenous knowledge keeper. Schools were given various resources, including a story from Isaac Murdoch about restoring balance with the land, and how the teachings of the Medicine Wheel's 4 Directions guide Indigenous traditions and practices. What will next month's challenge be? Well, there's a few hints of what's coming in March, April, and May, and June. You will recall that 100% of our schools earned Eco-School certifications in the last school year. All administrators have now received a plaque-mounted copy of this certificate to display with pride in their schools. It serves as a wonderful reminder to keep up the great work. The Eco-Schools program provides students with proficiencies, perspectives, and practices to become environmentally responsible citizens. And earlier this year, we shared a presentation on culturally responsive and relevant pedagogy, which is the focus of professional learning at the start of the school year. This is a key component in our work on equity and inclusive education. Our classrooms are becoming more diverse and more globalized as we welcome newcomers in greater numbers into the communities that we serve. We want to see our learners reflected and represented in that curriculum. Principal Corey Petrie, who chairs the Equity and Inclusive Education Committee, presented an Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion resource tool at the leadership team meeting in January. This tool is meant to guide educators through the process of selecting resources for the classroom that respect and represent diversity. On Friday, staff and students in Rainbow Schools participated in the Classroom Closet, organized by Réseau Access Network. Workshops were presented at the Place to Art on Friday, and the Classroom Closet provided conference participants with the knowledge, attitude, and skills required to support and advocate for 2S LGBTQ+ students, family, friends, members, and coworkers. A diverse range of speakers and facilitators will delivered workshops on a number of related topics. Students appreciated the opportunity to participate in the Classroom Closet to build their knowledge, gain new learnings, dialogue with other students, and meet allies. Students come away from the workshops feeling empowered and energized. Rainbow District School Board will also be presenting Embrace Diversity, Free to Be Me this spring. The full-day symposium will offer workshops for students in grades 7 and 8 on March 30th and students in grade 9 and 12 on April 27th. Free to Be Me is all about listening to and honoring student voice. Staff members reach out to the GSAs from all Rainbow schools at secondary level to seek input on topics of interest, and partners provide guest speakers and deliver workshops, often based on the lived experience of members in the 2S LGBTQ+ community. Once again, there's a strong support system on site, as well as resources for appropriate follow-up. In addition to the educational component, Free to Be Me is a forum for students to network and share in a friendly and safe environment. The goal of Free to Be Me is to create and enhance school-based supports for students, as well as with friends, family. School leaders, athletic council members, school councils, and gay straight alliances from Rainbow Schools will be invited to participate, and participants will build understanding and brainstorm solutions to help foster a greater sense of safety and belonging in their schools and communities. And we're proud to be a host of this event since 2009. Next month, a team of staff will pilot a workforce census that will be rolled out to all staff at the beginning of April. The workforce census is an anonymous, confidential, and voluntary collection of demographic and perceptual data that will enable Rainbow District School Board to further its work in equity and inclusive education. This census is aligned with the student census, which was administered in the fall. The questions are keeping with Ontario's anti-racism data standards. The questions were reviewed and approved by a steering committee with representatives from all employee groups. The census will provide a snapshot of employee demographics in Rainbow schools in this school year. Third-party data analysis will have access to responses in order to produce reports in aggregate form only, which means that responses will be grouped together to show patterns or trends. With regard to staff, Rainbow District School Board has been participating in a number of career fairs to recruit employees for teaching and support roles. Staff and members in human resources are working diligently to fill positions within the board and bolster our casual pools in all areas. We've had a presence at the following career fairs. On January 18th, the Applied Education New Graduating Teacher Virtual Job Fair. On January 25th, traveled to Lakehead University in person for their education career fair. Also on January 26th, participating in the Lakehead University Virtual Education Career Fair. February 3rd, in person at Nipissing University's Career Fair. February 7th, in person at Cambrian College's in-person career fair. February 9th, virtually at the University of Windsor's Career Fair. February 15th, at Laurentian University's Virtual Career Fair. And coming up on February 23rd, there's another virtual career fair where we'll recruit staff for our French immersion schools and on May 9th at the La Cloche Footholds Regional Job Fair and Career Expo in Espanola. Rainbow District School Board will host its first ever career fair for all positions within the board on Saturday, April 1st from 9 to 1 at Lockerbie Composite School. And it's not an April Fool's joke. We are recruiting teachers and non-teaching staff to invite candidates who are interested in exploring opportunities in Rainbow schools to come and have a conversation with us about a career at Rainbow District School Board. Also upcoming, we have 3 highly respected speakers joining us for the Professional Learning Day on April 28th. Dr. Jean Clinton will be speaking at Manitoulin Secondary School for all staff from Island Schools. Dr. Clinton is renowned nationally and internationally as an advocate for children's issues. Her special interest lies in brain development and the crucial role relationships and connectedness play. In addition, Dr. Greg Wells will be speaking at Sudbury Secondary School and Lockerbie Composite School to all teaching staff. He is a leading authority on optimizing performance and a best-selling author. As a scientist and a physiologist, Dr. Wells has dedicated his career to making the science of human limits understandable and actionable. In his informative and engaging keynotes, Dr. Wells draws parallels between elite athletes and top executives to help business leaders perform at the highest level, even when under the most extreme circumstances. Key messages include how you build your personal wellness through what you eat, how you sleep, how much sleep you're getting, and how much you move your body in order to optimize your focus and performance at work. Also, Dr. Sherry Madigan will also speak at Sudbury Secondary School and Lockerbie Composite School, and she is a clinical psychologist and professor. Her research is primarily focused on understanding how children and their early social experiences and relationships can influence their learning and mental health. As part of this work, she examines the transmission of intergenerational risks from parent to child, particularly the identification of mechanisms that contribute to risk, as well as resiliency factors that mitigate them. And trustees, you're certainly welcome to come and listen to any of our speakers. Please just let me know if you're interested. In closing, I'd like to remind parents and guardians who have children starting school this fall, it's time to register. Elementary schools will host kindergarten orientation sessions in May, and now's the time to secure your child's spot. We also invite secondary students to register now for grade 7 at schools offering that program, and at grade 9. Registration is ongoing. Trustees, I know I had a lot to share, and this brings my update to a close. It is with intention and great enthusiasm that I continue to share system-wide efforts to move each of our strategic priorities forward. There's so much more that we could be sharing, and we'll continue to share more throughout the year, but as evidenced tonight, I hope you see that there's a tremendous amount of work being done by our incredible, hardworking, and dedicated staff. Suffice to say, there are many great things happening in Rainbow Schools, and we're grateful for the leadership and commitment of our wonderful administrators, incredible teachers, and amazing educational support staff. And I'd be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Director. Are there any questions for the Director? I see none. I want to thank you very much, Director, for a very thorough and in-depth report. Very educational. And they are doing a lot of work in our schools. We'll go to new business. Number 1, 2023-2024 School Year Structure Director.
This will be a much shorter report, I promise you. So as you know, each year we go through the process of setting the calendar for the following school year. This is a combined effort with our coterminous boards as we look to maximize efficiencies through sharing calendars so that bus schedules align. Having said that, in your backup, you see that there is a calendar for a school year structure. This is embargoed information I will share with you until the 28th because none of it is official until each one of our coterminous boards pass the calendar at their board of motion. This is our night to do so, but on the 28th will be the last of our local boards to do that, so the information is embargoed until then. But as part of your backup, I will assure you that it's gone through our process of being shared with our board committee on this, which includes a variety of stakeholders, and also fits with some of our collective agreement items as per the Elementary Teachers Federation and some of the requirements on use of PD days at the start of the school year. So it's gone through all of those processes, and tonight is our night to approve it, and should you do so, and our coterminous boards do so, then the document will be made public soon thereafter. So with that, there's a motion for the chair, and I'll turn it back to the chair at this time.
Thank you, Director. We have a motion that the board approve the 2023-2024 school year structure for elementary and secondary schools. I need a mover. Trustee Doer. There's a moment there. And seconder, Lisa Corbier Addison. Any questions for the director? Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement?
In favor.
Trustee Corbier Addison?
In favor?
Trustee Doer?
In favor.
Trustee Farrell?
In favor?
Trustee Gibson?
In favor.
Trustee Hunda?
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly?
In favor.
And Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Now we go to number 2, property, and we'll hand that over to Superintendent Guilbeault.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Again, we have 2 properties for consideration this evening to be declared surplus. I'll read the first motion. That the property at 1241 Roy Avenue, Sudbury, Ontario, P3A 3M5, known as Carl A. Nesbitt Public School, be declared surplus to the needs of Rainbow District School Board as of June 30th, 2023.
I need a mover, please. Trustee Cosmerly. Seconder, please. Trustee Doer. Any questions? I see none. Poll vote, Director. Oh, there she is. Okay. Sorry, didn't look up. Trustee Hunda, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Just a very quick question. Are we absolutely certain that the school will be finished on the LaSalle property for the startup of September?
Through you, Chair Clement. Nothing is certain in this life, but we are very optimistic that we will be in the school for the fall. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Trustee Doer.
So by passing this motion, we are declaring that it is surplus to the Rainbow District School Board. However, that doesn't mean it immediately goes out. Are we putting it up for sale as of the passing of this? I shouldn't have answered my own question. My question is, does it go up for sale immediately after we pass this motion?
Through you, Chair Clement. The intention would be to begin that process, starting with the appraisals that we're trying to schedule before the end of the month, and then moving towards that process, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And now we, a poll vote, please.
Trustee Clement.
In favor?
Trustee Corbier Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Doer.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
And Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion is carried.
Thank you, Director. And we have a second motion.
Thank you, Chair Clement. I'll read the second motion. That the property at 1570 Agincourt Avenue, Sudbury, Ontario, P3A 3K3, known as Ernie Checkers Public School, be declared surplus to the needs of Rainbow District School Board as of June 30th, 2023.
I need a mover, please. Trustee Doer. A seconder, please. Trustee Cosmerly. Questions, please. Same one. Thank you very much. Poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement.
In favor.
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Doer.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you very much. Rule number 3, we have an Hospital Labor Relations and Human Resources Symposium 2023 to start off our spring. We have a motion that the board approve the attendance of the following trustees at the 2023 Hospital Labor Relations and Human Resources Symposium in Toronto on April 27th, 28th, 2023. I need a mover. Trustee Farrell. Seconder. Trustee Hunda. Yeah, going to, yeah. Now that I have the mover and the seconder, who would be going, anybody, any volunteers or me? Trustee Cosmerly. Trustee Farrell. Trustee Gibson. And myself. BC, anybody else? Yeah, she's in
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair Clement. Through you, there would still be time for approval after the next board meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
I am very interested in going, but there's a few things, a few hoops I'm going to have to jump through. So I can put my name forward now, or I can is it not possible to bring it forward again at next month's meeting, or how do we?
We could, but what you can do is maybe move forward now and take your name off after if you want.
Okay, that's fine then. Could you put my
Okay,
name?
all right, we'll put your name down just in case we forget.
Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Hunda. Okay. Yes.
Just a comment, we know that through PES, the Public Education Symposium, they were sold out very early. So anyone who's interested in attending should put their name in as soon as they can and should register as soon as they can, just to ensure that they'll be able to attend.
Thank you very much. Any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement.
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Doer.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
And Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. Number 4, request for leave of absence. We have Trustee Trudeau, Trustee Morrison, Trustee DeBossige, I think it's just those 3, be granted a leave of absence from the February 21st, 2023 board meeting. A mover, please. Trustee Hunda. Seconder. Trustee Gibson. Okay, poll vote, Director.
Trustee Clement.
In favor?
Trustee Corbier-Addison.
In favor?
Trustee Doer.
In favor.
Trustee Farrell.
In favor.
Trustee Gibson.
In favor.
Trustee Hunda.
In favor.
Trustee Cosmerly.
In favor.
Student Trustee Kunze.
In favor.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Director. My light came on, I almost don't want to touch it. It's a miracle. Okay, Number 5. Yeah, too good to be true. Director's remarks.
Thank you, Chair Colon. I know it's been a lengthy meeting, so I'll keep my comments brief. But I would like to share with regards to remote school, the Rainbow District School Board will continue remote learning for one more school year for those involved in the program. As we plan ahead for the fall, we're in the process of confirming with remote school families the number of students returning to their home school for the following school year and the number of students who will remain in remote school. While in-person learning provides the greatest social, emotional, physical, and academic benefits to our learners, we do know that there are some exceptional circumstances at this time that may require some families to remain in remote learning for one more year. Remote learning will be offered in the English program only. No French immersion courses will be offered remotely next year due to very low enrollment. And as such, we would not be able to provide sufficient course options to allow for graduation. The French immersion program will be delivered in person at home schools for the next school year, and remote learning will be provided by Rainbow District School Board through its remote school. It is possible, however, that courses could be offered through a blended model, including e-learning courses for secondary students. Currently, we only have 87 elementary students and 87 secondary students enrolled in remote learning. Of this number, only 12 students were in French immersion, which is why we cannot run the program for the following year. We do expect the trend of our remote learning numbers to continue decreasing as they have from year to year and into the next school year. And my last quick update is on Cecil Facer Secondary School. We're advised on February 7th of the impending changes at Cecil Facer, that instead of becoming a correctional facility for youth, Cecil Facer will begin to transition into an adult institution. The board does provide the educational program at the facility and will continue to do so for youth for the upcoming school year. The educational program is directly funded at Cecil Facer by the Ministry of Education under a section agreement, and there's currently 13 staff members there. As things evolve, we'll continue to have more updates, but we are aware that the program will run for next year, so as part of our spring staffing and planning process, we'll plan to continue the program and then take direction for years to come to see what evolves into the following school year. And with that, I'll close my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. We have OSPA Director. Comments?
Thank you. I have several. Many of the presentations from last month's Public Education Symposium have now been posted on the OSPA website. From the OSPA homepage, you go to Events and Publications, Public Education Symposium, and you can find the presentations there. An excellent presentation trustees may all want to check out is the one entitled Rules of Order, Can't Live With Them, Can't Live Without Them. That was presented by parliamentarian Lori Lukanak. A number of OSPA meetings and events are coming up, starting with a Board of Directors meeting this coming weekend in Toronto. I will be attending the meeting virtually on February 24th, and Trustee Farrow will be attending in person on February 25th. A Northern Regional Council meeting will be held on Saturday, April 1st, which looks like it's going to be a busy day for a lot of people. That's going to be held via Zoom, commencing at 9:30 a.m. And the OSPA Labor Relations and Human Resources Symposium, which we just talked about, will be held in person in Toronto on April 27th and 28th. While the agenda has not been posted on the OSPA website as yet, topics will include managing human resources issues in the media, collective bargaining, and social media and the workplace. It should be a great conference, and as I indicated earlier, what we learned from the PES registration, it's important to register early. In other news, OSPA is seeking trustee input as they develop a new multi-year strategic plan. Trustees are encouraged to complete an online survey before noon on February 27th. Also, hard copies of the Good Governance Guide were given to all attendees at PES, and I see they're now available for trustees here in this office. This guide is an excellent resource for all trustees. And finally, nominations are now open for the 2023 OPSPA Awards. A list of the awards is posted on the OPSPA website, and nominations close April the 3rd, except for the Bernadine Yakman Award, which has a closing date of June the 7th. Included in the list of awards is the President's Award, which recognizes trustees with 25 years of service in public education. At this time, I would like to acknowledge two of our own trustees who have or who are achieving this milestone in 2023, Trustee Judy Hunda and Trustee Dina Morrison. Their names have been submitted to OPSPA by our board's communication director, as well as that of Trustee Doreen Dewar, who has been a trustee for 35 years. Congratulations to all three of these trustees.
Thank you, Trustee Cosmony. Trustee Kunze.
All right. Okay, so first of all, Darcy really wanted to attend in person today. It's been really awesome to be here with everyone in person. It's definitely different, and I am enjoying it. So hopefully she'll be joining me in person next time. In terms of schools, most high schools just went through exam season. It was a lot of students' first exams, so that was scary, but students made it through, and lots of student councils are putting on different things for stress relief, and after exams, lots of fun things have been going on. Llewellyn did their winter formal, Barrydown has been doing moccasin making and medicine bag making. EHS did spirit weeks, and they're planning a vendor market for student vendors, which is amazing as well. In the new semester, students are getting back to their regular routine, and our Student Senate is continuing to work on our Stand Up, Speak Out conference, which will be in May, as well as Darcy has been leading the plans for a board-wide powwow. In terms of Darcy and I, we actually just got back from Ottawa from last weekend, so this Sunday, and we went to attend board council conferences for the Ontario Student Trustee Association, which were amazing and very educational. On a student advocacy front, we got a presentation by the Ontario Principals Council, where we got to share feedback and learn from them about their role in education. We also had a presentation by the Assembly of Seven Generations. Personally, I got to connect with Northern public boards, speaking to issues relevant specifically to Northern student leadership, and Darcy got to do an Indigenous breakout where she got some more help in that as well. I actually got to give a presentation on environmental sustainability as a student leader, which went really well, and I got to push forward the idea of environmental sustainability within school boards, of course taking from this school board, so commending all the action that happens here and sharing that with student trustees across the province. Other than that, it was a very educational and valuable conference. Darcy and I had lots of time to debrief on our 7-hour bus ride home, so it was amazing. And thank you again for the opportunity and allowing us to go. We really appreciate it, and if you have any questions about it or anything like that, feel free to contact either of us. And that, I'm pretty sure, is it for me.
Thank you very much, Trustee Kunze. I didn't know if you could get better in that first part that we heard, that you were going to be named as a, but you did. You outdid yourself. Trustees' remarks. Do we have any? We have a quiet night. Okay, we'll move right on to the chairman's remarks. First of all, I'd hope that you all had a wonderful family day yesterday, spent with loved ones. I'm a little tired this weekend. I had 3 little ones at the house, and they wore me out. On February 10th, I had the pleasure of attending a very special education ceremony. It was hosted by the Cecil Fraser Secondary School, where a student obtained an Ontario Secondary School diploma. I would like to congratulate the student for recognizing the value of a high school diploma and putting in the work to graduate. I would also like to commend the staff, and they have great staff there, for supporting the student's success and changing lives. So it was a really nice thing to see. And it was the first graduate and the only graduate for the last 10 years, I think. A reminder to register now for those who were unable to attend information nights in Rainbow Schools. There is still time to register. Contact your area Rainbow Schools today. I went to the Espanola High School registration night on Friday night, and it was packed. And it was really nice to see parents there supporting their kids. I went to school there. My wife went to school there. My 3 kids went to school there. And to see my sons and some of their friends were there having their kids going to school here, I'm going, well, time sure flies by, I'll tell you. Environmental challenge. This month, staff and students were challenged to use less electricity. This initiative is part of the Environmental Committee's ongoing effort to encourage sustainable practices. Next month, all schools will be challenged to grow an indoor garden. Parents Involvement Committee. The Parents Involvement Committee will meet next Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. The topic will be technology and digital citizenship. Technology skills competition on Wednesday, March 1st. Approximately 100 students from grade 9 to 12 in Rainbow Schools will test their skills in various trades, from carpentry to small powered equipment to coding. Competitions will take place at Cambridge College and the Carpenters Union Training Hall in Azilda. Good luck to all participants. Special education input. A reminder that Friday, March 3rd is the deadline for parents, guardians of students with exceptionalities to provide input into the 2023-2024 special education plan. A link to the survey is available on the board's website. The top projects from the participating Rainbow Schools will give students from grade 7 to 12 the opportunity to showcase their knowledge of scientific principles during the board's science fair on March 7th at Lockerbie Composite School. Judges will select some 40 projects to compete at the Sudbury Regional Science Fair on April 1st and 2nd at Laurentian University. Best of luck to all of those participating. And if trustees haven't gone to these before, I have. They're great to see, and the projects will blow your mind. It's just unbelievable. Board instructional holiday, a board-wide instructional holiday will take place on Friday, March 10th. There will be no schools for students. Midwinter break, a friendly reminder that schools are also closed for the midwinter break starting March 13th to the 17th. Days of significance. Rainbow School District School Boards continue to highlight and celebrate days of significance and events on its Facebook page. We had a beautiful presentation this evening from Lansdowne Public School and Valley View Public School on the Dare to Care program. And it inspired this quote from Bob Talbert. Having a young child explain something exciting he or she has seen is the finest example of communications you will ever hear or see. Thank you very much, everyone. G, information and proposal. Reports from officials and staff. There's a report in your kit for Parent Involvement Committee and a Special Education Advisory Committee. No other reports. And also on H, you'll see there that our future meetings for Parent Involvement Committees, Special Education Committees, Environment Education Committee, Student Senate Committee, Strategic Planning, Equity Inclusive, and board meeting, the next board meeting, March 21st. So we come to an end. We have an adjournment that we now do adjourn. A mover, please. Trustee Dewar, and a seconder, Trustee Cosmony. Thank you very much, everyone.